À respecter 1 minute de silence.
Hollande, who'd been watching the game, was briefed and rushed to safety. Only minutes later, gunmen opened fire on several bars and restaurants in eastern Paris. In the same neighbourhood, bloody scenes unfolded at the Bataclan music hall. 3 attackers killing 90 people who were attending a sold-out concert by the rock band Eagles of Death Metal. A standoff ensued and French elite forces stormed the venue. The siege only ended when 2 of the attackers blew themselves up. The Islamic State group later claimed responsibility in revenge for French airstrikes in Syria. President Hollande called it an act of war against France as he announced a state of emergency.
The terrorists steal the lives of innocents, but they also want to suspend ours. So I say firmly that France will remain a country of freedom, of culture, an active, brave and dynamic country that never gives in to fear. Life must resume in full. What would our country be without its cafés, concerts, sporting events and museums?
In the days that followed, mourners gathered at the site of the attacks, pausing to remember the lives lost. Meanwhile, the investigation moved into high gear. Paris's chief prosecutor claimed 3 coordinated teams were behind the worst violence on French soil since the Second World War. Police carried out hundreds of raids across the country, but arrests were also made in Brussels, closing in on the neighbourhood of Molenbeek. In a further sign of the growing Belgian link, investigators said at least 3 getaway cars were hired there. An arrest warrant was then issued for the only surviving attacker, Salah Abdeslam. He went on the run and after one of the largest manhunts in Europe, was tracked down 4 months later in Molenbeek. In 2018, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the attempted murder of police officers during his arrest. The trial for his role in the Paris attacks, though, is expected to begin in 2021.